So, Ginger.
Yeah?
You know how we wanted to start a podcast, but we were having trouble coming up with a topic?
Yeah?
Okay, so here's my pitch. The topic of the podcast is us trying to come up with the topic for the podcast.
What, like we pitch each other podcast ideas and that's the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We could call it, What Should Our Podcast Be About?
Miles, that's really stupid. Let's do it.
What should this song be about? I'm trying to figure it out. What should this song be about? Could you perhaps help me out? I've had a moment of doubt. What should this song be about? Welcome to What Should Our Podcast Be About? The podcast where we try to figure out what this podcast that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm Miles Grover.
And I'm Ginger Brown.
I have a couple of sort of updates from last time.
All right.
So last time we talked about All Day I Dream About Corn.
Uh-huh.
The Corn Enthusiast podcast, spelled wrong, like the band, to troll the band people. Fans of the band.
And maybe the band.
Colonels. Yeah, they probably listen.
They're big fans.
They probably listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just unrelatedly. They're probably psyched when they saw that episode.
Yeah. They were like waiting. They were like, finally.
Well, I am sorry to disappoint them, but I went and listened to that song, that All Day I Dream About Sex song. And it is so bad. Oh my god. I don't know if I even really knew that song before, but it's not even catchy or anything.
I don't actually remember how the song goes. Well, I just remember it existed.
Yeah, because it doesn't really go anything. It's like sort of like breathy, talking, kind of singing. It's
Don't add us Corn fans.
Something like that. I don't know. Also, I did forget that title of that song is an acronym for Adidas for some reason.
Yeah.
That's nothing, right? Like, Adidas has nothing to do with the song. It's not what Adidas actually stands for or anything.
I feel like probably in high school I thought that was clever or something.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it like sort of seems clever until you think about it at all. And then you're like, that's not anything, actually.
Yeah. But I mean, like, when you're in high school, anything that's got sex in the title, you're like, it's Adidas, and I can call it Adidas, so mom and dad won't know it's about sex.
Right. It's a secret code. The other thing that I thought was really funny is I listened to both the album version and the, MTV official video version.
Okay.
And, warning, here comes some swear words, but the studio version, or whatever, on the album, I think, the chorus is like, all day I dream about sex, all day I dream about fucking. And the MTV version is all day I dream about sex, all day I dream about humping, which is kind of hilarious to me, especially because he says, like, all day I dream about humping. It's really goofy and weird. I'll probably put in a little snippet of it here. So anyway, no offense, Corn and your fans, but that song sucks a lot.
And that's why our podcast is about actual corn.
And that's why we're talking about, we actually dream about the grain corn.
Yeah.
Another thing is we were talking about what a group of cats is called.
Uh-huh. Did you look it up?
I did. And apparently a group of cats is called a clouder.
What?
Large cats are called a pride, and small cats are called I'm going to look it up just to make sure I'm not crazy.
That sounds dumb.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's clouder. Like chowder, but with an L instead of an H.
No, I don't like that.
I don't understand. I don't understand where that comes from.
I don't understand and I don't like it. We could definitely do better than that.
The Wiktionary etymology says it comes from a word meaning a lump or a clot, basically like clot.
What? Why?
A clouder. I don't know. I just had to let other people know that this is a thing because I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Although now I'm seeing that another collective noun for cats is a glaring of cats, and that's sort of good.
That's much better than clouder.
Yeah, and clouder sounds like cats are like fans of Steven Crowder or something. You know what I mean? Because it's called Louder with Crowder.
You just made me hate it more.
So it's like Clouder. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you just made me hate it more.
Also, a group of kittens, I guess, apparently, according to this, is called a kindle of kittens. It's okay, I guess. Anyway,
all right, well.
So now you know, clouder. I never even heard of that word before.
Don't start using it because it's dumb.
Yeah. Unlike all the other ones.
I mean, a gang of cats is still the best one.
No, coven of cats is better.
Coven of cats, yeah, right, right.
Coven is better than clouder, certainly.
Yes.
Heck, a chowder of cats would be better than a clouder of cats.
Chowder. A chowder of cats.
Chowder. I don't know what that accent was supposed to be.
All right, what do we got this week?
Do you have ideas? Do you want me to start? Do you want to start?
You start. I think I started last week. You start.
My first idea... So there's a new Willy Wonka movie.
Okay.
Coming out with
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
That's not how you say his name.
Hugh Grant.
And Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa and so on. Mr. Bean's in it. I mean, Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
He's Mr. Bean.
He's basically Mr. Bean. So that movie's about a whimsical chocolate factory, basically, right? And I was thinking... What if there were, like, that's a really pretty obvious choice for a whimsical factory to be a factory that makes chocolate.
Right.
What if we come up with other kinds of whimsical factories and what they would be like? Like a whimsical factory that makes golf balls or something. Like, what kind of goofy stuff would be in there? And the podcast is called The Magical Factory Factory or The Whimsical Factory Factory.
Okay.
Yeah, golf balls is a completely random example. Shoes.
Yeah, shoes.
Hair ties.
And, like, we come up with all the different, like, fun things that could exist in...
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's the equivalent
I think shoe factories already exist.
No,
but they're probably not very
factories whimsical. For all the... factories for these things exist. I'm saying, like, factories for chocolate also exist.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying, like, this. What's the shoe factory equivalent of the schnozberries taste like schnozberries or whatever, right? Like, what do all the children who get let into the whimsical Willy Wonka shoe factory or whatever, what kind of
hijinks do they get into?
Befall them? What kind of weird
river do they fall into?
Yeah, what kind of weird rivers and rooms and, like, you know, what's the equivalent of like, does Violet Beauregard put on a shoe and then her foot grows into a blueberry? I don't know. That doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean? Like, what's the equivalent there? That's okay. Yeah.
All right.
So it's the Magical Factory Factory.
Magical Factory
Or the Whimsical Factory Factory. I don't know.
Okay, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Coming up different with scenarios.
Dumb factories like Willy Wonka's factory, but not for chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Do you have an idea?
My first idea was just a podcast where, and this would require probably a lot more listener interaction, a podcast where we, like, try to solve stupid mysteries, like little mysteries.
Okay.
And I thought about this because we have a mystery that we're currently trying to solve.
Oh, you mean our garbage person?
Our garbage person, yes.
By which I mean the person who is a garbage human being who also is interacting with our garbage.
Yeah, so we moved into this house and right away, as soon as we started putting our garbage out, somebody started, like, dumping their household trash in our garbage cans, which wouldn't have been so bad, except, like, usually it was a lot of food. And so we'd get, like, yellow jackets buzzing around our garbage can.
Yeah, like, well, and I don't know if they are doing it or how it's happening, but, like, a lot of times the garbage bags that they're leaving are getting ripped open. And so, like, I've had to, like...
Could be animals, probably.
Yeah, I mean, but still, they're doing it like, it doesn't happen with our garbage.
Yeah.
Our garbage obviously has food and stuff in it. Whatever, I don't know what they're doing exactly, but, like, they're also putting their garbage in our yard waste bin, and they're also putting recycling. I saw there was, like, a box of peach bud or something. Peach flavored beer.
I wonder if, like...
It's really weird.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll get into, like, the whys, but... So, it's very weird because, one, our garbage collection in this area doesn't cost anything.
Right.
So, if you have a garbage can, you just put it out.
Right.
Like, and the city will provide free recycling containers. So anyway, so we moved our garbage cans. We have a very long driveway. We moved our garbage cans all the way to the backyard.
They were out by the street, so it was like you could kind of see if somebody's, like, walking by, maybe they're like, oh, I'll just stick my garbage in there, I guess. Yeah. It doesn't really make sense because it was their household garbage bag. It wasn't like somebody just put some garbage that they were holding in there.
Yeah.
But still, they were by the street. It sort of isn't that crazy.
Yeah. So we moved them to
our backyard.
To our backyard. And we have a camera in our driveway.
Yeah.
So the other day we actually got them on camera, and they walked all the way down our long driveway and into our backyard and just threw their trash in there. And unfortunately, we didn't catch them when it happened.
Yeah, it was like...
Because I really want to know why.
Yeah, I mean, like, our driveway's not crazy long or anything, but you're definitely walking down a driveway into somebody's backyard, right?
Yeah.
It's very obvious. Like, nobody's confused about what's happening.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, they moved the garbage cans. I'm still going to put my garbage in there. I'm just going to walk into their backyard to do it.
Yeah, and...
It's like it looked like just a young dude, and, like, he looked like maybe he was out for a run or something.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah. Really weird. And it's like, we want to know what, we really want to catch him. Like, I want to, like, if we catch him in doing it, I just really want to know why.
Yeah, it's like sort of a minor thing, but it's like, what is wrong with your sense of the, like, social contract that we all live under, that you think it's okay to do this, especially when I can't imagine a reason why you would need to. It's like, it's adding a bunch of work for me when the garbage, like, their garbage falls over and I have to pick it up and then put it out or whatever, because and it makes the garbage heavier when I have to drag it from behind our house out to the street.
Right.
Like, it's annoying. And, like Ginger said, like, a number of times food has gotten spilled, and so I've had to, like, deal with a bunch of friggin' bugs flying around that might try to sting me while I'm dragging the garbage out. Really annoying. And I don't see how it benefits them at all, because they could just put it in their garbage can, and it doesn't add it. It's probably more work to bring it to our garbage.
Yeah, that's the part that really gets me, is, like, it's annoying to take your garbage out. Like, just full stop.
Right.
Like...
Just
when you don't have to go very
yeah.
far. Like, it's a lot of forethought to take your garbage to somebody else's house.
Yeah, it's very strange.
And yeah, so we were trying to figure out why. Maybe he has an animal problem in his yard.
I don't know.
Maybe, well, the one that just occurred to me when you mentioned the beer is maybe he's underage, because we couldn't really tell.
No.
Maybe he's underage. Maybe he's drinking and he's like, doesn't want his parents to know that he's drinking. So he's like throwing his alcohol away.
But most of it's just it seems like just regular garbage, like, bread and tomatoes and like random stuff like wrappers and whatever. Like, it's very strange. So, okay, so that all aside, the idea for the podcast is that we would try to solve mysteries like this?
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
People would present us with, like, weird mysteries, and we would try to
that reminds me,
solve them.
There kind of was a podcast like that. Can't remember what it was called, but it was Starlee Kine's podcast on Gimlet, I think, where she would, like, try to, like, over the season, she would try to investigate some fairly minor mystery.
Yeah.
Well, I think it got 2 seasons and got canceled or whatever, but anyway, yeah, so maybe, but I don't know how we would actually go about investigating. I don't think we would necessarily investigate. I think people would present us with weird mysteries, and we would try to, like, talk about it and try to figure out, think of how it could maybe be. Yeah. We could come up with ridiculous theories. Yeah. They don't have to be serious theories. Yeah. But yeah, so if we talked about that one, we could use our current mystery. Right, okay. So it's kind of, so it's like coming up with plausible or implausible explanations for weird little mysteries. Yeah. Okay, that's kind of good. Thought that could be kind of fun. That's kind of interesting. Okay. All right, what else you got? I have an idea from Svetlana. Okay. Which I don't expect we'll spend a lot of time on. It's been a while, though, since we've had a Svetlana idea. I was talking to her, and I was like, we got to go record a podcast. She was like, I've got an idea for you. And her idea was, what about a podcast that's about memes on the internet, but all of the memes are a meme of a duck riding a skateboard? That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea? Yep. Okay. So every episode, I guess, every episode we talk about, like, a picture of a duck riding a skateboard. Should ducks ride skateboards? Would ducks be good at skateboarding? Isn't it cool how this duck in this picture is skateboarding? Is the duck in the picture really skateboarding? Is the duck wearing a helmet and knee pads? Should ducks wear helmets? Is it being responsible? Why aren't people making helmets for ducks? So that's that one. I have another one.
All right.
Or do you have another one you want to talk about?
I've got one more, but you go ahead.
I have a couple more. So, okay, I don't have a title for this yet, but, and I think you're probably going to hate this, but...
I always love when it starts out with that.
Yeah, it's a podcast about poetic meter.
Okay.
So several episodes ago, we talked about Dr. Seuss and how he typically writes an anapestic tetrameter.
And ChatGPT kept giving you iambic pentameter.
Yeah. So my idea is a podcast where we explain the different meters, how they're used, iambic pentameter, anapestic tetrameter, dactylic hexameter, whatever, various like popular ones. But while we're explaining them, we have to only speak in that meter.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I hate this.
We would have to figure out like how that meter goes, right? Because anapestic tetrameter is like, so tetrameter just means 4 per line. Right?
I did look it up after we did that podcast. Yeah, but I don't really remember.
So the last part's pretty easy. Pentameter 5 per line, tetrameter 4 per line, hexameter 6 per line, right? The first part. For some, I don't know where these come from exactly, or and I don't know all of them. But for somebody, it's kind of actually similar to the weird animal names thing of like a murder of crows, clouder of cats, whatever, where somebody has gone and named like a bunch of different little they're called metrical feet. So there's an iamb, right? That's iambic pentameter is 5 iambs, right? So an iamb is unstressed syllable and a stressed syllable. Da-da, right?
Right.
So a pentameter of that is da-da, 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 da-da. Right? Okay. And then an anapest is 2 unstressed and stressed. So it's da-da-da, 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 da-da-da is a tetrameter of that. A dactyl, I forget exactly what a dactyl is actually at the moment, because it's either 1 short, 1 long, or 2 short, 1 long, or something like that. It's dactyl's finger, so it's like the shape of a finger, so maybe it's 1 long, 2 short, something like that. Anyway, we would have to learn about each one and like where the name comes from and blah, 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 and understand the meter well enough to da-da, 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 right? Yeah. You couldn't really talk, I don't know if we could actually talk in pentameter, right? Like you always have to say 5. You always have to say 10 syllables for every sentence or something. Yeah. But I don't know.
I don't think it would make for good listening.
It could be interesting.
Okay. I mean, it could be interesting. I don't really want to do it.
Okay. That's fine. Even if it would be an interesting podcast, I think it would be very difficult to actually do for this. Like if we talked about it more, we would have to be, I'm talking now like this.
Yeah, that sounds annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so the other idea I had this week is also a stupid one.
Okay.
It would involve watching lots of buddies movies.
Okay.
So basically, my idea is kind of like a guess the buddies plot. Like one of us watches the movie.
Okay.
And kind of gives the person a start of like what the movie's about, and then they have to guess what happens next.
Okay.
And they'll be completely wrong, obviously, because there's no logic or rhyme or reason to any of these movies.
True, but they're pretty formulaic. So this idea is kind of like the Buddies Beyond idea of coming up with plots for buddies movies, but except you're trying to guess actual ones.
Yeah. I thought of it because you were telling me about Spooky Buddies, and I was like, it's not the direction I would have thought that was going.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole time.
God, that movie. Yeah, so I just rewatched Spooky Buddies.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a rewatch.
Oh yeah, I've seen Spooky Buddies before. The main plot is that there's a Halloween Hound, and there's a warlock that wants to summon the Halloween Hound so that the Halloween Hound can open the portal to the Netherworld, and then all the ghosts will come out and possess all the people who live in Fairfield, I think is the name of the town, some random town, and then the warlock will control them, and that's his plan. And
step 4, profit.
Right. And the Halloween Hound, in order to open the portal, needs to eat the souls of 5 puppies who are related to each other.
How convenient.
And yeah, it's weird. It's so weird that happens to be what he needs, given that that's who the buddies are. The beginning of the movie is him almost eating 5 different puppies in 1937 or something, and then getting interrupted and getting trapped in a mirror or something.
All right.
Also,
yeah,
there's a whole plot in the movie where there's 3 things the warlock needs. He needs his staff, he needs his special magic book, and he needs the 5 puppy souls. But he doesn't get them all, and the thing still happens. So he really didn't need them.
So he didn't need all that.
At all.
So we won't be able to guess the plot of Spooky Buddies since you've just given all that away.
Well, you could try to tell me what happens in the middle.
He tries to eat the puppies.
Who does?
The warlock?
No, he doesn't eat puppies. Although, well, he doesn't eat any puppies as far as we know, although he does describe them as delicious at one point. Or their souls as delicious, maybe.
Okay.
Also, you probably would never guess that he has his magic staff, and his mode of transportation to get around is surfing on the staff. It's like riding a broomstick.
Not flying, surfing.
Well, he flies, but he flies via standing on the staff like he's surfing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's also a Frankendude in this.
There's also a Frankendude.
So maybe whoever wrote this really was into surfing.
Yeah, I guess. Frankendude is Frankenstein's monster. He's a Frankenstein, but he's also a surfer dude. So he has like blonde hair, and he's wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and matching shorts and checkered Vans, except their platform checkered Vans are like 3 inches tall, 3 inch tall platforms.
I suppose we could just have a podcast where we just talk about the Buddies movies.
Yeah, I mean, I would be into that. I honestly would.
Maybe we don't need to dress it up. Really.
Do this and the Buddies Beyond idea. I'd do that all day, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So a different one would be like, what's one I've seen that you haven't seen?
I mean, most of them probably.
No, actually, I think you've seen most of the ones I've seen now, except for Spooky Buddies, maybe.
I've seen Santa Buddies.
Yep. You know what? It doesn't matter. We don't need to keep.
That's all I can think of.
You've seen Santa Buddies. You've seen Treasure Buddies.
Oh, right.
You've seen Space Buddies.
Right. Did I see Space Buddies?
Yeah, didn't we watch it like a couple weeks ago with Slats Bentley? Have you not? You haven't seen? You've seen?
I don't think I've seen. I've seen part of it. I haven't seen it all the way through.
I swear. Actually, I watched it with somebody else recently, but I've seen it like 4 times, so I swear you've seen it.
No, okay. I've only seen part of it.
Okay, so what do you think happens in Space Buddies? Okay, the premise is that there's a company that is trying to go to space to go to the space station or something. And there's a bad guy at the company that's trying to sabotage it so that he'll be in charge or something. And then the buddies and their kids that go with the buddies like take a tour of the space place. And then some wacky hijinks happen and the buddies end up in space. So what do you think happens in this movie?
Okay, so the buddies ended up in space accidentally.
Yes.
I think something goes wrong and the buddies have to like navigate the ship back to Earth.
That does happen. Yes, that does happen. But that's not... How do you think they get into space? Like, what plot contrivance could get 5 dogs onto a spaceship?
Oh, well, I just assumed that, like, they accidentally ended up on the spaceship while they were touring it.
They not only end up on the spaceship, they go on the moon.
They get to the moon.
The dogs walk on the moon.
Okay.
Which means that they have spacesuits.
Right.
How did they get spacesuits?
I'm gonna go with the movie doesn't explain how they got spacesuits.
It absolutely does. There is a machine that will scan what kind of animal you are and make a spacesuit that fits that. Also, can you guess who does the voice? Who is it that helped that? Okay, there is an animal that gets on the microphone at the NASA type place, the private NASA place, whatever it's called, that talks the buddies down because animals can talk to each other, of course.
Right. Of course.
Can you name the somewhat celebrity that does the voice of this animal and what kind of animal it is?
It's a Christopher Lloyd chicken.
Nope.
I want it to be a Christopher Lloyd chicken.
I think you'll be happy with what it actually is.
It's a pseudo-celebrity?
Well, they're a celebrity, but they're not a big celebrity. But you definitely know their name.
I'm trying to think of a celebrity that's not like super famous and failing.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Yes, just tell me.
It's a ferret played by Amy Sedaris.
Oh, well, she's fair.
We know who she is for sure. Anyway.
Okay, well.
She's not Christopher Lloyd, right? Level.
I mean, she's been in Star Wars.
Yeah, she's been in Star Wars. That's true.
We should mention that Rory has joined us.
Rory has woken up and has joined us, so he might be making some noises.
Right now, he's growling.
He's making weird little growly noises. Anyway, yeah. Also, can you guess the name? Can you guess the good pun name for the Russian dog that they meet in space?
Is it a dog pun?
It's sort of.
Sort of a dog pun.
It's a pun on the name of a famous dog and a Russian thing. A Russian space thing.
Okay. Famous dog. The only famous dog I can think of right now is Lassie.
Okay. It's not Lassie.
Vladassi. I don't know.
No, it's Spudnik. Because it's a Spudnikin. It's whatever kind of dog.
I did know that. Yeah. I did know that.
Yeah, Spudnik. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, and can you guess, this is the last one. Can you guess what outfit is worn by my favorite character in the movie, whose name
Slats Bentley?
is Slats Bentley.
What outfit is worn?
Yeah, what does he wear? What is his costume for this movie? He works at a NASA type place. Okay.
He works at a NASA type place. So I would say probably a suit, but I don't think it's going to be that.
So what he wears is a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up about 3/4, a tie, and then jeans with the cuffs rolled way up.
Huh.
It's very weird.
So he's like going for like a busy scientist kind of look?
He really does not look at all like a busy scientist.
But is that what you think what he was going for? Like, I slept overnight because I've got so much science stuff to do. I slept here overnight?
I don't think he's supposed to have slept there overnight. I really couldn't tell you. It's a weird look for this character. Anyway, there's also a character who's another character with a similar job to Slats Bentley, and I don't remember her name, but she's wearing a shirt that says like, "My boyfriend went to space and all I got was this lousy t-shirt," or something like that. Anyway, all right, so this podcast is just gonna be us talking about Buddy's movies forever.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
I have more ideas, but I think maybe we should wrap it up or pick a topic to kinda, so we can wrap up.
So what have we got this week? We've got, what was your first one again? It was
my first one was The Magical Factory Factory.
Okay, so The Magical Factory Factory. We've got Solving Minor Mysteries.
Right, which we would need a name for.
We've
got The Poetic Meter.
We've got The Ducks on Skateboards.
And guess what the plot of the Buddies movies are.
Yeah. So anything appealing to you right now?
I don't know. I kind of like Magical Factory. I kind of like mysteries, I guess. I would be happy to talk more about this strange mystery of what's happening to us.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk more about this strange mystery. Rory seems on board with that, or he's protesting it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he wants to participate. Okay, so we'll need a name for this, like mini mysteries, or...
Is there a pun we could come up with, like a play on like unsolved mysteries at all?
Or like Sherlock Holmes or something, detective, mystery.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can circle back to the title.
We can think more about it, yeah. Okay, so what could this guy possibly be doing with our garbage? What possible reason could there be to put your garbage in somebody else, to consistently go out of your way to put your garbage in somebody else's backyard garbage bin instead of your own?
So maybe he really hated the people that lived here before. And maybe he's trying to attract wild animals to our yard.
If that's what he's trying to do, it seems like he's succeeding, but it's also a pretty roundabout way. He could, like, if he really hated us, he could just, like, actually strew his garbage around in our yard or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could do much worse. He's just putting his garbage in our garbage.
Yeah.
For basically.
So, I mean, yeah. So then the other thought I have is like, is it maybe, again, he's throwing away stuff he doesn't want people to know about? I mean, you've said it's mostly food, but maybe there's something else in there.
Maybe. But who's got people going through their trash to find... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You mean besides us?
Well, we're not going through the trash. We're just finding some of the trash because it gets broken open, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going out there and actually looking in those bags. I guess they could be full of meth or something, but that wouldn't really make a lot of sense either. Like,
no, I mean, but I didn't mean we're going through the trash. I mean, people have gone through our trash before.
Yeah, well, people have gone through our recycling. I don't know if they've gone through our trash.
Which that one makes sense, right? Like they're looking for cans.
Yeah, people are taking cans to turn them in. Which, it's not ideal to have people coming into our yard to do that either, or whatever.
But that's actually stopped since we moved the trash cans.
Yeah.
Which is like, if somebody was coming into our yard to do that, at least it would make sense.
At least we would understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, does this guy somehow think that this is the trash can he's supposed to put stuff in?
Yeah, I did have that thought.
Like,
and how would that happen?
How would that be the case? Like,
because it's very clearly, like, we have a gate. That's the thing, is we do have a gate.
We have a gate
that has our address on it.
Yeah, and we leave it open because we want people to be able to deliver stuff to our back porch.
And because it doesn't work very well, it's very hard to open and close.
Right, exactly. Like, there's a building right next to us, right? Like, our driveway abuts a building. And so if the guy lived in that building, maybe he could think that was his trash. But I don't think he would keep thinking that after we moved it, right?
Right. Because it used to be right next to the gate.
Right. It was just inside the gate.
It was still inside the gate.
Yeah. But close enough to the street and the sidewalk that you could sort of almost understand, but...
So another idea I had is maybe he doesn't have a garbage can, in which case...
He could have our garbage can. We could get a new one.
Yeah, like, I would rather he just took the garbage can.
Right, why doesn't he could just steal the garbage can? That would be much preferable.
Maybe he's afraid that we would notice that he had the garbage can now. But
well, it's a pretty generic garbage can. I would have no idea if somebody took
it. But also, like, and if we get the chance to ask him, and that is it, I'm gonna be like, I'll buy you a garbage can, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy you a garbage can. I don't know why you can't afford a garbage can, but I'll get you one.
Right. Well, that's weird too, because like if he owns a place, well then it seems like he probably could afford a garbage can. And if he rents a place,
usually they provide one.
The landlord probably legally has to supply a garbage can, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's landlords that don't do what they legally have to do, but it still seems...
Could there be body parts in the garbage?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility, I guess, except this guy must be disposing of a lot of body parts because,
maybe
for one,
it's
the
one
bags
body
are not
he's
very
disposing
big.
of very slowly.
Yeah, they don't smell like that, though. They don't smell like rotting.
Yeah.
Right? You'd think they would smell, and also, I've had to pick up some of the bags. They didn't have to, like, there were body parts in them or anything.
Yeah.
They seemed like regular garbage. I mean, I guess he could be chopping them up real small or something.
I mean, because like, and maybe I've just listened to too much true crime, but like, that's the only plausible reason I can think why you wouldn't want to be associated with your garbage.
Yeah, well, but if he was doing that, he would want to leave his garbage at different places, right? Not the same place.
Well, but not if he's trying to frame us.
Yeah, I guess.
If he is trying to frame us, he probably should have picked someone who didn't have a camera.
Right. Also,
our camera's not hidden either. It's like right above our garage.
We have two cameras actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither of them are hidden.
Yeah, and he's just doing it in broad daylight. Also, like,
it was very infuriating to watch when we got it on camera because he just like waltzed up like he owned the place. Like, this was his driveway and this is his place to throw his garbage away.
Right. It really seemed like he didn't look around. He didn't seem furtive in any way. He just walked up, dropped it in, walked away.
Which is like why it's like, do you somehow think that this is what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah. I feel like we're not getting to like really outlandish theories of why he might.
Well, you suggested maybe he had a deal with the previous owners.
Right. Maybe they were like, sure, you can. I don't know, but it still doesn't really explain why he would need to make that deal or whatever. And
Right.
also, there's no way he doesn't know they don't live here anymore, it seems like. Maybe, I guess maybe he wouldn't know, but I don't know.
Is he maybe afraid he's going to get in trouble for not recycling? Is there recycling stuff in there?
No, but they've put recycling stuff in our recycling as well.
Yeah, okay.
So, I don't know. And I don't think you get in a lot of trouble for that here, it doesn't seem like.
No. Maybe we'll get a solution to this mystery, because maybe next time...
Maybe we'll have caught him.
Well,
we did get our camera service, so it's more likely to alert us in time to catch him.
We really just want to, like, ask him why.
Well, I would like him to stop also.
Well, I would like him to stop, but I would like to find out why.
Yeah, at least.
Because I don't want to live with this mystery for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Maybe he's just an alien. Maybe he's just an alien, and this is how he figured out how to get rid of his trash.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a werewolf, and that explains it somehow. If he's an alien or a werewolf, it could be dangerous for us to confront him.
They're always full of food, right?
The time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a vampire and he's pretending to be human and he doesn't want his garbage to be full of food because it might give away that he's not actually eating.
Right. Okay. That kind of makes sense, I guess. I don't know if they're always full of food. They're full of food when they're ripped open, probably because animals find the food and rip them open.
Right.
But there definitely has been food in there. I feel like half a loaf of bread and stuff.
Right? It's a good theory.
I didn't check to see if the bread was like moldy or whatever. It could have just been perfectly nice bread that he threw away because he's a vampire. I guess.
Because he was like, oh, it's about time for me to have eaten this much bread.
Yeah. It still raises the question of why does the vampire think people are going to go through his trash?
He could think that wild animals are going to go through his trash and then his secret would be out. People would be like, why'd you throw away a whole loaf of bread? So now our neighbors are going to think we're vampires.
Right. Except I'm sure none of our other neighbors have been paying any attention to our trash and probably wouldn't pay any attention to his trash. And also you could just say the bread was moldy.
He's a very anxious vampire.
He's a very paranoid and also not very smart vampire.
Yes.
That's possible, I guess. It would explain the youthful look as well, I guess.
Yeah, and also he is a very stupid vampire because he's ensuring that his secret gets out.
Right, this makes it much more likely that he'll get outed. And it's really nobody cares that you're like nobody's going to notice unless there's like a vampire hunter who figures out who's vampires by who has a bunch of food that isn't bad in their garbage. But also, why does the vampire buy a lot of food to begin with?
He did come by during the daylight, though.
Oh, that's true.
All right, well,
so we've solved this mystery. He's a stupid, bad vampire who is a daywalker.
Yeah.
I guess.
But if you have theories...
Yes. I'll ask on the Spotify what your theories are, so you can fill it out there, or you can just send us your theories.
We would love to solve this mystery. So if you have ideas...
Yeah, send us your theories. Send us your mysteries.
Yes, send us your mysteries.
If you have a mystery, send it to us.
I would love to continue this one onto another episode if people have dumb mysteries we could solve.
Yeah. Well, we didn't come up with a title, though. It could just be mini mysteries or tiny mysteries or...
Tiny mysteries is cute. I like tiny mysteries.
Tiny mysteries or stupid mysteries. Tiny mysteries, I guess is fine.
Tiny mysteries. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right. You want to talk about our social stuff?
So follow us on social media. You can find all the links on our website, which is coolpodcast.website. You can find us on Threads, Instagram, and Twitter at whatshouldpod. You can email us at what@coolpodcast.website.
We're on Facebook as well.
We're on Facebook as well. Just look for What Should Our Podcast Be About. Please follow us, rate us, review us, say nice things about us, but especially on Apple Podcasts, because that will really help us.
If we get any reviews, we will read them. So now's your chance to be on our podcast, I guess.
Yes, we'll give you a shout out and read your review.
You could also be on our podcast if you just send us your ideas. So
yeah,
I guess it's not hard to get on our podcast if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to be a guest on our podcast, let us know.
That's also true, I guess. If you want to be a guest, you could email us about that. I think, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. We don't have an outro yet.
Tune in next week to see if we've come up with an outro.
All right.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
What was that podcast about? I'm trying to figure it out. Didn't catch what that was about.